I wish to acquire the simplicity, native feelings, and virtues of a savage life, and to find, amidst the solitude and grandeur of the western wilds, more correct views of human nature and of the true interest in man. The seasons of snow were preferred, that I might experience the pleasure of suffering and the novelty of danger. Estwick Evans. Wilderness appealed to those bored or disgusted with man and his works. It not only offered an escape from society, but also was an ideal stage for the romantic individual to exercise the cult that he frequently made of his own soul. The solitude and total freedom of the wilderness created a perfect setting for either melancholy or exaltation. Roderick Nash, Wilderness and the American Mind.
Being an experienced hitchhiker, McCandless effortlessly traveled over 1,800 miles from Carthage, South Dakota, all the way to the Yukon Territory in Canada.
While at the Liard River Hot Springs, Chris ran into a ham-faced 63-year-old Hoosier.
I'm Gaylord Stuckey. I'm going to Fairbanks, Alaska.
I'm Chris McCandless. That's where I'm going too. I've been stuck here for a couple of days. You mind if I go with you?
Oh, Jiminy, I'd love to, son, but I can't. You see, the company I work for has a strict rule against me picking up hitchhikers, and it could get me canned.
Oh man, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take you 500 miles, and then we will see where you are there, all right?
All right.
You can catch a ride to someone else.
Sounds good.
All right.
Guess we'll get going now.
Yeah. Hop in my car.
All right. This it over here?
Yep.
All right.
A day and a half later, however, when they arrived in Whitehorse, the capital of the Yukon Territory, Stuckey had come to enjoy McCandless's company so much that he changed his mind and agreed to drive the boy the entire distance.
Stuckey drove McCandless from Liard River Hot Springs all the way to Fairbanks, Alaska.
When they arrived in Fairbanks, Alaska, Mr. Stuckey took Chris to a grocery store to purchase supplies.
Big storm out there, huh?
Hello.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could have a 10-pound bag of rice, please.
10 pounds?
Yeah.
Oh, let me look. Oh, here we go. That'll be $5.40, please.
Here you go.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thanks.
Chris then went to the bookstore at the University of Alaska to pick up some books.
In the campus bookstore, tucked away on the bottom shelf of the Alaska section, Chris came across a scholarly research field guide to the region's edible plants.
Oh, by the way, what were those books for that you got?
I'm just studying up on some berries that grow in the wild.
But you're too early yet. There's still 2 feet, 3 feet of snow on the ground. There's nothing even growing.
Oh my god, you're right. I think I'm gonna go anyway though.
Alright, it's your call. Good luck.
Thanks. Give it a shot.
Hesitant to have Chris embark on his journey, Mr. Stuckey had a few parting remarks.
Before you leave, I gotta tell you something. I've driven you 1,000 miles. We've become good friends now, and I fed you for 3 days. The least you can do is send me a postcard or something when you get back from Alaska.
Alright, I'll do my best.
You should probably call your parents. They might be looking for you somewhere.
Yeah, maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Well, here. If you do decide to call them, here's my credit card number.
Alright, I'll take down the number here.
Alright. And good luck out there. It might get pretty dangerous, too. Write down my cell phone number, too.
Here you go.
Alright, good luck out there, dude.
Thanks, Mr. Stuckey.
Bye, Alex.
On April 27th, Chris departed for Mr. Stuckey and purchased hunting materials.
Hey, excuse me? Excuse me?
Oh, I'm sorry. John Krakauer, great book. How can I help you?
Oh, I'm just gonna be hunting, so, I guess I'll take this one.
Oh, that's our new model, the Remington 22.
Oh, alright. How much do I owe you?
It'll be $125.
Alright, sounds good. You know what? Keep the change. Here you
Thanks.
go.
Have a great day. Good
You
luck.
too. Thank you.
Before officially setting off on his journey, Chris passed the Geophysical Institute.
The Geophysical Institute, a tall glass and concrete building capped with a large satellite dish, was one of the most distinctive landmarks on the Fairbanks skyline. It had been erected to collect data from satellites, equipped with synthetic aperture radar of Walt McCandless's design. Walt, Chris's father, had in fact visited Fairbanks during the startup of the receiving station, and had written some of the software crucial to its operation. If the Institute prompted Chris to think of his father as he tramped by, the boy left no record of it.
He woke early on the morning of April 28th, walked down to the George Park Highway, and was pleasantly surprised when the first vehicle to come along pulled over to give him a lift.
Hey, where you headed?
Hey, I'm headed to Stampede Trail.
Hey, I'm Jim Galen. Hop in.
Alright, I'm Chris McCandless.
Nice.
Jim Galen drove Chris all the way from Fairbanks, Alaska to Stampede Trail.
Alright, this is Stampede Trail. I'm gonna let you up here.
Alright, sounds good, man. Thanks for the ride.
Hey, no problem, dude. Hey, that rice not be enough for you, so here, take some lunch.
Nah, I can't take
Take it, dude. I have to insist. You can't
Are you
go out
sure?
there.
I don't even like
You
bananas.
can't go out there with a bag of rice.
Alright, fine.
Just take it.
Fine.
You'll be good.
Alright, thank you very
No
much,
problem.
Jim.
Hey, good luck out there.
Hey, man.
Hey, don't get your backpack, dude. No problem. Hey, shut the door.
Okay, Jim.
As he trudged expectantly down the trail, the only food McCandless carried was a 10-pound bag of long-grained rice and the 2 sandwiches and a bag of corn chips that Galen had contributed.
By the time McCandless headed into the bush, there was open water flowing on most of the larger streams, and nobody had been very far down the trail for 2 or 3 weeks. McCandless reached the Teixeira River his second day out. Although the banks were lined with a jagged shelf of frozen overflow, no ice bridges spanned the channel of open water, so he was forced to wade. He never suspected that in so doing, he was crossing the Rubicon. To McCandless's inexperienced eye, there was nothing to suggest that the 2 month hence, as the glaciers and snowfields of the Teixeira's headwater thawed in the summer heat, its discharge would multiply 9 or 10 times in volume, transforming the river into a deep, violent torrent that bore no resemblance to the gentle brook he'd blithe wade across in April. May 1st, some 20 miles down the trail from when he was dropped by Galen, he stumbled upon the old bus beside the Shoshana River. "Magic bus day," he wrote in his journal. He decided to lay over for a while in the vehicle and take advantage of its crude comforts. He was elated to be there. Inside the bus, on a sheet of weathered plywood spanning a broken window, McCandless scrawled an exultant declaration of independence.
2 years he walks the earth, no phone, no pool, no pets, no cigarettes. Ultimate freedom, an extremist, an ascetic voyager whose home is the road. Escape from Atlanta, thou shalt not return, because the West is the best. And now after 2 rambling years comes the final and greatest adventure, the climactic battle to kill the false being within, and victoriously conclude the spiritual revolution. 10 days and nights of freight trains and hitchhiking bring him to the great white north. No longer to be poisoned by civilization he flees and walks alone upon the land to become lost in the wild. Alexander Supertramp, May 1992.
Reality was quick to set in. He had trouble capturing game and designated this time period the Fourth Day Famine. But soon his fortunes took a sharp turn for the better. He also became much more successful at the hunting game, and for the next 6 weeks feasted regularly on squirrel, spruce grouse, duck, goose, and porcupine. Then, on June 9th, McCandless miraculously bagged his biggest prize of all, the 600-pound moose. In his naivete, it became the zenith and the nadir of his adventure. In his journal, he writes,
June 10th, butchering is extremely difficult. Flying mosquito hordes surround the carcass. June 11th, 2 front legs and head are removed. Get the rest of the body to the stream. Haul near cave. Try to protect with smoker. June 12th, I removed the half-rib Cajun steaks. Can only work nights. Keep smokers going. June 13th, get remainder of rib cage, shoulder, and neck to cave. Start smoking. June 14th, maggots already. Smoking appears ineffective. Don't know. Looks like disaster. I now wish I'd never shot the moose. One of the greatest tragedies of my life.
On July 2nd, McCandless finished reading Tolstoy's Family Happiness, having marked several passages that moved him.
He was right in saying that the only certain happiness in life is to live for others. I have lived through much, and now I think I have found what is needed for happiness. A quiet, secluded life in the country, with the possibility of being useful to people whom it is easy to do good, and who are not accustomed to have it done to them. Then work which one hopes may be of some use. Then rest, nature, books, music, love for one's neighbor. Such is my idea of happiness. And then, on top of all of that, youth for a mate, and children. Perhaps, what more can the heart of a man desire?
Satisfied, apparently, with what he had learned during his 2 months of solitary life in the wild, McCandless decided to return to civilization. It was time to bring his final and greatest adventure to a close and get himself back in the world of men and women. McCandless seemed ready, perhaps, to go home. On July 3rd, he shouldered his backpack and began the 20-mile hike to the improved road. 2 days later, halfway there, he arrived at the beaver ponds that blocked access to the Teixeira River. In April, these waters had been frozen over and hadn't presented an obstacle. Now he must have been alarmed to find a 3-acre lake covering the trail. He concluded correctly that he would probably be swept to his death if he attempted to cross the Teixeira at that place in those conditions. It would be suicidal. It was simply not an option. He turned around and began walking to the west, back towards the bus, back into the fickle heart of the bush. Ironically, the wilderness surrounding the bus, the patch of overgrown country where McCandless was determined to become lost in the wild, scarcely qualifies as wilderness by Alaskan standards. Just 16 miles to the south, hundreds of tourists rumble daily into Denali Park, and unbeknownst to the aesthetic voyager, scattered within a 6-mile radius of the bus are 4 cabins.